Hello friends, this is Mrs. Bear here. Today we're going to be solving inequalities, single-step inequalities with multiplication or division. And lucky for us, our experience with solving equations will help us a lot when we're solving these kinds of problems. There are a couple of differences and we'll kind of go over those when we come to them. But first of all, I just want to show you problem number 1. We're going to go through this together, and so you'll want to have your book open and kind of following along and doing this with me. So I'm going to go ahead and start here. And if we were to solve this like an equation, we know that we need to get the variable by itself. Remember, the variable has COVID. We're trying to isolate it. In order to do that, we need to, since we're multiplying v on number 1 by 3, we're going to be dividing by 3. So see if I can get this to work. That's really thick. We're going to try to get a finer. We're going to get this really thin, okay? All right. Okay, so we're going to divide by 3 on both sides. Divide by 3, divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we have a v left on that side. And 12 divided by 3 is 4, so v is greater than 4. Now when we go to graph it, if you'll remember from our notes and from when we added and subtracted the other day, it's not, v is greater than 4. It couldn't be equal to 4. It's just greater than. So we're going to not fill in that dot because it couldn't be 4. We're going to leave it empty, and it has to be bigger than 4. Well, any number that is bigger than 4 is going to be found to the right. So we're going to draw an arrow in that direction. Okay. Let's go down to number 3. I'm going to kind of zoom in here on number 3. We have a negative 12 is less than or equal to a negative 3g. So again, we're going to isolate that variable, get the g by itself by dividing using inverse operations. So we're multiplying, we'll divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. That becomes 1, and so we have a negative 12 divided by a negative 3. Now, because this changes signs, this answer over here on the other side changes signs, we need to flip the inequality. We kind of talked about this when we did our notes. So we know that a negative 12 divided by negative 3 is a positive 4. So switch signs here. So we are going to flip the inequality sign from going this direction to going this direction. And we know, of course, that we've isolated the variable, so we have g. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and graph that by placing a dot above the 4, and we're filling it in because it could be equal to, g could be equal to 4. Or it could be, or 4 could be greater than or equal to, or g could be less than or equal to 4. So if g can be less than or equal to 4, we need to draw our arrow going left, as those are the smaller numbers. So how I kind of remember this, didn't mean to do that there. Up here on number 1, we had our variable over on the left-hand side. Maybe I'll highlight that. No, that's not good. Don't do that. We had that variable on the left-hand side, and when we graphed it over here, it went to the right, the same direction as this. Whereas down below, we have our variable on the right over here, okay? And so if it's on the right, and here's our inequality sign pointing right, we're going to go the opposite direction. So variable on the left, arrow goes the same direction as the inequality, okay? I'm going to get rid of all those lovely highlights. All right, we're going to let me get a different picture here from... we're not going to do that. I'm going to just grab my most recent here. We're going to look at this one. Okay. Oh. You know, we might go back. I'm going to pause this. Hold on. All right, down below on problems 9, starting with problem 9, we're going to do this problem from your homework. And this time we don't have to graph them, we just have to solve them. So I'm looking at this problem here, and I know on number 9 that if I want to get the a by itself, I'm going to go back to a pen here, that I am going to have to get rid of that 3. So I'm going to have to divide by 3 over here and divide by 3 over here. So then we know that we have an a left on that side is less than a negative 16 divided by 3 is going to be a negative, oops, sorry about that, negative 5, and you'll have 1/3 left over. So we could plug that back in to our answer to see if that is the true case. We could plug it back in for A and realize that it is less than a negative 16. So let's look at number 13. Over here we have D we're multiplying by a negative 6. So to get the variable alone, we're going to divide by a negative 6, divide by a negative 6. That becomes 1. We're left with a D is less than or equal to, and I'm actually going to just erase that because I need to remember, since we are dividing by a negative, what are we going to do with the inequality sign? We're going to flip it so it goes the other way. And a negative 6 divided by a negative 6 is 1. So our answer would be D is greater than or equal to 1. So there you have it, folks. Good luck on your assignment, and may the force be with you.